And that's because we get too much into the work and we are not paying attention to our posture. So I know that the gardenings are starting, the spring cleanings are starting, and a lot of manual work is happening at home, around the gardens and in the house. So I would suggest that when you're doing those, please be mindful of your posture. And if you feel that you're overdoing it, please stop and take a rest and enjoy the sunshine and then go back to it. Having said that, now I don't think that we have a word master today or joke master, and we will be going directly to Mr. Benjamin Zhang, our Toastmaster. Benjamin, take it over.
Thanks, Masood. So now we are starting our formal speech portion of the meeting. The formal speech is the most important part of the meeting. Through this program, members prepare, practice, and deliver speeches and get feedback from other members so they can work on areas having room to improve and become better and better communicator and leader. That's why we add additional meeting on every other Wednesday dedicated for speeches. So today we have four speakers, and our first speaker is our new member, Shelley Warner, and she's from Manitoba, and she just joined last week, and so thanks to WebEx, so makes our remote meeting possible. And our evaluator for Shelley's speech is Shelley. Shelley, could you please introduce the objectives of Shelley's speech?
Buddy, Shelley just joined Toastmaster yesterday, and she's having her Icebreaker today. Isn't that amazing? The purpose of her speech is for the member, for Shelley, to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Please welcome Shelley Werner.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, and good day to all. Why would a Manitoba girl leave behind her family, her circle of friends, her business connections, and move 2 provinces away to Calgary near the Rocky Mountains? I'm going to tell you the answer to that question, but first I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. My career has taken the form of 3 phases, so I'm going to go all the way back to phase number 1. I'm an interior designer by profession. I graduated from the University of Manitoba Faculty of Architecture. And many people think that being an interior designer is going shopping with other people's money. This is not the case. And being a corporate and commercial designer has many other criteria that I will tell you about. My job was to get to know an organization, their mission, their vision and values, and to translate that into a workspace. Colors and materials all tell a story, and they have to be chosen carefully so that when you walk into a space, it instantly conveys what kind of company this is. And this also helps to convey a message to the people who work there, not just to the people who come in. I've often said to my clients, you're not my client, it's your clients that are my client, because I want them to know who you are when they walk into the space. But eventually, after practicing that for many years and designing a wide variety of spaces, I found that it was more fun for me to get the contract than to actually do the contract. And from this, I realized that perhaps I had a future in selling. This led me to my second phase of my career, where I started a company called Smart Furniture for Business. Our tagline was, making people comfortable at work. And we did this through a variety of ways, through our knowledge about ergonomics and our expertise about workplace comfort. We were always concerned to create an environment where somebody could do their best work by bringing the technology to them. I had often said to my clients that just in the way they would have at their desk a picture of their home or cottage, my goal was for them to have a picture of their desk at their home. This allowed me to be creative and allowed them to feel they could trust me. After I did this for a while, I sold my company to an organization out of Calgary called Contemporary Office Interiors. My job was to lead a team there of workplace specialists, and I had to inspire and lead them to telling our story to our clients and potential clients. We believed in creating a living office. A living office is a space where people can do their best work by being able to work in a variety of settings. So the space had to be agile. Technology has created a set of mobile workers encountering things that we never predicted when we were younger. Those of us who are old enough to remember the fax machine will multiply that by 1 million, and you know the challenges that face people who design office space today. After I worked for Contemporary Office Interiors and led the team, I decided to embark on the 4th phase of my chapter, and that is now, where you see me here at Toastmasters trying to build a new world. My passion is for communicating ideas, for telling stories, and for speaking with people in a way that they can understand me. I have traveled the world from Israel to China, and I believe that I speak human. And speaking human means speaking with authenticity and with a smile. And this will open many doors for you. And in fact, many doors have opened for me. I have taken leadership roles in many philanthropic organizations. I was the chair of the Women's Institute of Manitoba, where we provided funding for entrepreneurship and women who were trying to start new businesses. I was the chair of the Manitoba Institute of Child Health, where we did research for children who are sick. We used to say, from bench to bedside, and that's laboratory bench. I also believe in communicating through music. I play the guitar, I play the piano, and I love to sing and belt out pop tunes, show tunes, and whatever kind of music appeals to me, along with my son, who is a performer and a student in education. My other older son is a designer like me. But back to the question I asked in the beginning. Why would I move? Well, it all started with the first line of a joke. So I met a guy, and this guy was from Calgary. And he and I led a long-distance relationship for 8 years until the gift of COVID brought us together because we said we could do this no longer and we wanted to make a long-term commitment. And so that brings me to this day where I'm at Toastmasters, where I'm hoping to build a new community of people who share my passion for communicating ideas and possibly embark on my 4th chapter of connection and shared vision. Thank you.
Thanks, Shelley, for sharing your story. This is very interesting. So, with that,
I think there's something formal that I was meant to do. Did I miss? Was I supposed to say that's the end or something?
It's okay. Thanks. Appreciate that. So let's pause for a minute and to give evaluator for some time.
Really know car insurance. I don't. Yet I.
Okay. So our second speaker Still, yeah, you are practicing. I was wondering why I haven't introduced you already started. This is good.
Excellent.
So, Steven joined Fluor Toastmasters last year, and so within the past year, and he is actively engaging and participating in Toastmasters, and he improved a lot, and so this is your pathway is leadership, right?
That's true.
This is your second speech in leadership pathway. So Stephen is going to deliver speech. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is money. And before we start, I would like to invite Marcy to give the objective of Stephen's speech. Please, Marcy.
Hi, thanks very much. The purpose of this project is for the member to observe his or her time management patterns. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes, 5 on green, 6 on yellow, 7 on red, and I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
Please help me welcome Stephen Yang. Knowledge is power, knowledge is money. Stephen Yang.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. As I mentioned to the audience previously, I would like to share the information and knowledge and as a gift to all of us. This is series number 2. Raise your hand if you really like to save some money on the car insurance. I may see your hands and may not. But do you really know the car insurance at all? I don't. For that, I lost almost $2,000 in the last 2 years. My daughter got her driving license when she was 16 years old. As you know, it's very expensive to have new driver to have the insurance because they lack of experience and they are easier to have accidents. So the premium will be higher. By applying the insurance themselves, it would cost up around $2,000 to $3,000 annually. By being included in parents' coverage, she's not paying that much, but still doubling my premium. When I added my wife to my car insurance policy, the cost is about $20 a year. That's about $2 a month. Not a big deal. But when my daughter was added to my coverage, the cost increased by 1,000, doubling my insurance premium. Then, 2 years ago, she left home for university in London, Ontario, and not driving in a campus. With this COVID-19, she came back 2 months earlier, and we are all staying at home and working from home since March 16, and rarely drive our cars. Then one day, my wife saw some posting from her WeChat group talking about some savings on car insurance and asked me to check it out. It turned out I had a big hole in my pockets after I carefully located the paper sent to us by insurance company every year. Who really checked out the details of insurance? I don't. One reason is, of course, I'm afraid of those clauses, terms, and conditions, hard to read and hard to understand. It's like process engineering and electrical engineering. They are totally different and they cannot understand each other. That's why lawyers are paid a big money in this monopoly field. So I called a car insurance company, TD Moloshimonics, and I found that I could still keep her name in the policy when she's away from home to the university, and it will drop the portion of the premium significantly. And when she comes back, we can resume her coverage. Not only that, since we rarely drive the car, we can park one car in the garage and just keep the other one active. That will save almost $100 a month. It was $120 per month, and with the comprehensive, it's only costs about $20 for comprehensive coverage, which is about the fire or the theft or accidentally your car is hit by a tree, falling tree, or whatever. Just for that, the sake of that. I'm going to share one screen. It's typical of the car insurance policy. Just bear with me 1 second. As you can see, that this is typical insurance, and there are 3 sections. The first one, of course, is a third-party liability. And without checking the details of previous, I never know about those terms, clauses, definitions. So the first one is basically talking about if you hit someone or hit any of the equipment or the property, then you are liable. You are liable to have that insurance to cover that. Section B is the accident benefits, which covers you and somebody in your car in cases of you did by yourself accidentally when you hit a tree or an object, or in another situation, somebody else hit you, but they do not have their coverage of insurance at all. It's not very common because by the law we are required to have the third-party liability insurance. That's from the other side. But still, that's the case. Things happen on the road. And Section C is for loss or damage your own car. So that applies to the incidents like what I have just described. If you have the car parked there, got fire, or somebody vandalism when you park, for example, I happened to park in the library outside and got scratched on my car. So that will be covered by that. Of course, when you see that my daughter, the name is listed here, and it's double my, this is just the only portion of that, which the other portion I'm not showing on the screen. So with that, the insurance, I know that without this knowledge, I'm putting my money in insurance companies' pocket. I would like to encourage all for the same thing, although I realize that the COVID-19, this isolation may be over soon, but still maybe at a time for you to check out with your insurance. I do know that there are two scenarios. One is you can cancel or terminate that policy. That means you do not have anything at all, even for fire or vandalism. Or you can still keep a portion like I did to keep the comprehensive and go from there. The tricky thing is the former policy or the option you take, there's a 45 days period, which means you should have more than 45 days expectation for that termination. Otherwise, insurance company, they will have extra charge for you. While the second, the latter option, there's no time limit at all. You can switch that even for 10 days or 20 days. And without any penalty or extra cost. So with that, I just share a little information regarding the car insurance, and I hope it's helpful. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Stephen, for sharing this information. And I think with COVID-19 and lots of people are not using, if you have two cars, are not using two cars. Maybe you can put insurance to reduce the premium. Very good information. Thanks, Steve. And let's pause for a minute to give evaluator to write down some notes. And if you have any feedback to Steve, you can send a chat or email to Steve. Thanks.
One minute is up.
Okay. So our third speaker is Alice. So Alice's speech title is "It's a Life Changer." And our evaluator is Irma. Irma, could you please introduce the objective of Alice's speech?
Mr. Toastmaster, the purpose of Alice's project is for her to develop and apply skills for coaching a fellow member or a person outside Toastmasters who could benefit from her expertise. The other purpose is for her to share some aspect of her experience as coaching. The time for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes, so 5 on green, 6 on yellow, and 7 on red. Thank you.
Thanks, Irma. Please help me welcome Alice. Alice, it's a life changer.
Very funny, Dad. Oh, is it my turn? Hold on. Let me get ready. Okay, I'm ready. My dad keeps telling people who ask what I'm doing, Alice is making toast. He's making a pun about Toastmasters because I have been very busy making speeches in the last 7 months. When you think about it, he's right. Isn't that one of the skills we are honing here at our club? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, I joined Fluor Communicators last October. By the beginning of February, I had reached a level in Toastmasters where I had learned many lessons from meetings here at Fluor and from visits to other clubs, which I wish to share with a new member. Monica Wang attended her first club meeting 2 days after her obtaining her membership on February 5th. I immediately felt a connection to her, which I later discovered and was validated that we are both practicing Christians. I emailed Masood requesting right away to be assigned as her coach. Our coaching relationship had begun. At our first meeting in the Fluor cafeteria on February 12th, we established the skill Monica wanted to master. She desired to improve her English language written and verbal competencies through writing and delivering speeches. Thus, we started to work together to deliver her very first Toastmasters speech, which she gave yesterday. English might not be Monica's strength, but she is one courageous individual with encouragement and support from her mentor, Ben Zhang, and me to structure a good speech. She scheduled her Icebreaker and did it on February 26th, 2 weeks from our first coaching meeting. If you wish to view it, there's a video of her speech on Fluor Communicators' YouTube site. Once that milestone was out of the way, Monica's confidence had grown. Again, knowing how high the demand for speaker opportunities at Fluor had become, I asked her to schedule her first and second speech. Unfortunately, Monica's first speech was canceled on April 8th due to some educational speeches which had to take precedence for the implementation of our Fluor Communicator WebEx meetings. However, like I said, she had scheduled 2 days ahead of time. We had a conversation last night about her speech yesterday afternoon. Monica agreed it was not her best effort. However, she also told me the Competent Communicator Manual I had emailed to her has given her good ideas to craft her future speeches. We also discussed some behaviors which she could improve upon. What could she do? Let's see. Why wouldn't she maybe, let's see, schedule her speeches and then maybe prepare well in advance for what she was going to say, so that she could maybe reach out to her mentor, Ben, or myself, in order to remember everything she wants to impart in her message during her speech. Monica should be looking into available spots to give her second speech as we speak. The good thing, it's her evaluation and feedback speech, in which she can give it another time that very same speech. That reminds me, I gotta get back to that text. I have to remind her to do that. Excuse me a second.
Alice, are you done with the speech?
Yes.
Okay.
As soon as I put my camera off, I assumed it was done.
So just have a suggestion for everyone. When you are finished speech, just say Mr. Toastmaster or Madam Toastmaster.
Yeah,
So
this time it just was better. I know that, but this time I felt it was better just to end it the way I did and then switch off my videos so you know I'm done, right? You're not looking at me or hearing me.
Sorry, maybe it's my problem. Okay, so let's pause for 30 seconds for evaluators to write down notes. Thanks for sharing your coaching experience with Monica.
We're a team, Ben.
Thank you.
Would be 30 seconds or a minute?
Yeah, 30 seconds. Not 30 minutes. Okay. Thanks, Masood. Our last but not the least speaker for today, Christina. Christina is our newly elected district director for next year. And she's going to give us a pathway, give us a speech regarding pathway. Pathway offers a self-paced and self-directed approach to learning. With many options and a variety of projects, each member can find a path that will fit their needs and interests. The High Performance Leadership Project is a required project for 3 paths and an elective for all paths. Today, we will take a deeper dive into the HPL and what it entails. The HPL is a strong step-by-step process for developing successful leadership skills and a valuable educational component of Toastmasters. Please help me welcome Christina with Growing with HPL. We cannot hear you, Christina. Please unmute.
Ready now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben. Growing with the HPL.
Can I ask, sorry, Christina, how many minutes is your speech?
5 to 7.
Right.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. That's not what I want. Now you got me mucked up. Learning new technology, because that's what we do. The purpose of the HPL. The focus of this project is to design and complete a project with well-defined goals, lead a team, and be accountable to a guidance committee. And the team is very interesting. There's 2 teams that you actually will end up leading. There's an action team and a guidance committee. And the team are the people that will actually do your actions. We need to find the people that are going to be smart, that are going to be connected, and that are going to be able to actually help you with whatever your project is. The second part is the committee. And this is very interesting. The guidance committee is where we have an opportunity to seek out mentors, to find out who's the expert on the topic that I'm doing, to find out the people that have been there before and are going to actually guide. They're not going to be the action team. They're going to be the people that are going to actually mentor you and coach you through whatever that project is. So let's go back and look at the program. Includes very much the basic part of the HPL is that we are leading a team. So if you don't have people that are working with you, there is no HPL. That's called working by yourself. The HPL is very much about leading a team. That's the action team, and the guidance committee are actually going to meet with you at least 5 times to guide you through, to help you decide your vision, what's your overview plan, and to give you feedback so that you can present it to your action team with improvements and some of their wisdom. The project actually gives you the overview plan. It helps you decide your vision, and it helps you to actually communicate that vision. Because I think as a leader, if people don't understand what it is we're aiming for, then the team is misdirected, and that already is a difficult road to success. There are task lists, and there are lots of programs and checklists within the HPL that will help you as you work through your project. Sometimes it's a project, sometimes it's an event. It could be developing a new program. It could be developing new resources. And in many cases, in my experience, a successful HPL actually leaves a legacy. And I'd like to give you a couple examples. Terry Kozlik, who is our past program public relations manager, actually started his TDK talks as an HPL project. He is now probably 10 years into hosting and interviewing people about different leadership topics. He's interviewed contestant winners from the International Speech Contest at the Worlds. He's interviewed past international directors, and he's interviewed a lot of people along the way. A very successful HPL in my opinion. Often we use the HPL as a structure and a format for us to get leadership training off the ground and develop new trainers and new leaders within how to develop that program. I have seen an HPL that was organizing a group of people to help create a presentation on how we use Easy Speak when it first came out. We have HPLs with people teaching how to use Zoom. We had an HPL for doing speechcraft for management. So some of these things have actually developed into something that has been left behind and actually benefited other people beyond that exact date. The project also includes 2 speeches. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And a 360-degree evaluation. So the people on your team are going to give you feedback on how you communicated and how you led. The guidance committee. This is really critical. Who are the people that you want to be on your team? And why would you pick those people? What are their skill sets and how are they going to increase your own leadership journey and your own skill set? What is their responsibility and how are they going to work with you? When are you going to meet? Probably frequently. If you're doing a project, a lot of them take over a year. You might be meeting every 2 weeks at the initial until you get your project off the ground. Now, the interesting question is where. I've met in coffee shops, I've met in our house, I've met in other meeting rooms. Right now, we're probably limited to meeting online, but that still works. And how are we actually going to have those meetings? There are agendas that will help us focus so that we're actually getting our task list completed. Tell me more about the speeches. There's 2 speeches, one at the beginning, and this is where you talk about your vision and your plan. You would discuss it with your VP of Education, and before you actually did that first speech, you would have already met with your guidance committee who would help you form that vision and be really clear on what it is your goal is going to be. Now, often an HPL starts out with a vision and it evolves as it goes, and that is a successful HPL anyway. The speech that is after is what were the results? What did I learn about me as a leader and how have I developed new skills and a new opportunity to actually be a leader for others? So when we talk about what does success look like, it's not about the event. It's not about the program. It's how did you develop as a leader? This is the whole purpose of an HPL. It's not about getting a party off the ground. It's about what did I learn? Did I communicate well with my team? Was my vision really clear or could I have developed it better before I started? Did I have all the pieces in place when I started? Or did I learn that I didn't use my resources effectively? So what kind of things did I learn as a leader? And that is the success of the HPL. I've seen very many HPLs that were not a successful event, but were very much a successful project for somebody to increase their leadership ability. So what are the benefits of getting involved in a leadership project? I love anything that's step by step. And what we have in our Pathways program is incredible as an HPL. We are given step by step, as we are in all projects, but very much so in our HPL, how can I go from here to here and being a better leader? I'm going to learn how to work with a team, and I might have to change my team along the way. I'm going to have a guidance committee who's going to reel me in when I'm not the best leader, and they're going to congratulate me when I'm doing things in a productive and encouraging way. I'm going to learn about resources, and I might actually be developing resources. But within the project, there's checklists, there's agendas, there's a timeline, lots of resources that are going to take me not just for my HPL, but how am I going to use those actual resources next time I have to lead a project in my community or at work. I'm going to learn to network. There's no way you can get through an HPL without networking. And one of those people that you invite, and I'll give you an example when we go to international conventions, district leaders and club growth directors are asking those top-notch international directors, would you be on my leadership team? How do you get to be able to network with that quality of person until you find out about this format? The best part about an HPL is what can I do better for next time? How am I becoming a better leader because I went through this process? If we're doing it in 2 weeks, we're not going through a process. That's a boom, boom, boom to get something done. If I actually work with my team, if I actually seek out the best people to be on my team, I'm actually developing and going through a curriculum that's going to help me develop. And we are where leaders are made. This is an exciting time. Throughout all of this, we're probably going to find out something about our own core values. What kind of leader am I? How do I motivate a team? How do I stay organized? Or how do I find the people that get me to that point? So when we talk about what we can do within an HPL and how we can grow. Take it. There are 3 of the paths: effective coaching, innovative planning, and persuasive influence, that actually require this, but all 11 paths have an HPL as an elective. This is going to set us up for better leadership skills. This is going to set us up for our DTM project, which is a bigger of the same sort of thing. And within our own club, we're going to have people who are going to be developing leadership skills beyond speaking in front of our members. This is a very valuable resource. So when we look at all the things that we can do through the HPL, let's take this opportunity and grow as leaders to increase our networking and bring other people into what we know Toastmasters has to offer. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thanks, Christina, for this introduction. And let's pause for 30 seconds for the evaluation.
Then I believe we give 1 minute.
Marcy, are you okay with like 30 seconds? Do we still have time? Because I feel that today is running.
Yeah, I'll manage it and we can go ahead.
Okay.
Seconds is up.
With that, I would like to move to the evaluation portion of the meeting. Masood, you can take over.
Is this a portion? Yes. Okay, well, we are going to the evaluation portion. We will do the evaluation, then I will ask Helen to join us for general evaluation. Our first evaluation is Shelley. Shelley, if you would like, please go ahead and take over and provide with your wisdom.
Excuse me, this is Alan. I am attending this Toastmaster from Costco parking lot, so it's not very comfortable to have my video on. So I'm just gonna speak. Do you hear me, Masood?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great.
I can hear.
Excuse me, this is Helen. Shall
Yes,
I introduce the general evaluation before everyone to start this evaluation section, or I will do after all 4 evaluators then?
According to the agenda, we will ask evaluators to provide their evaluations for the speeches, then we will give you to provide with the general evaluation.
Okay. Do I have, shall we have the timer to report the time first? Then the evaluator can start their evaluation for each speaker.
Very good point. Since I'm the timer as well, I will provide that. Thank you very much for reminding me. No. Okay, the timing for Shelley's speech is 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Stephen, 11 minutes and 22 seconds. Alice, since I missed the end of the speech, give or take about 6 minutes. And Christine, 10 minutes and 14 seconds. So now I'm going to pass the floor to Shelley. Shelley, you have 2 to 3 minutes to provide your evaluation.
Thank you, Masood. A Manitoba Girl in the Rockies. Such an interesting title. Thank you, Shelley, for sharing with us your story. It was amazing. I especially liked it that you started with an interesting question that grabbed our attention from the beginning. We learned that you are an interior designer and you have helped 2 businesses. You are very musical, a singer and a guitar player, and a world traveler. My God, from Israel to China, such an amazing travels. You talked clearly and your talk was easily understood. Your story was interesting and well constructed. And you talked with a smile. And you had excellent facial and hand gestures. I suggest that you may want to consider looking at the camera more often, maybe getting used to alternating, looking at the audience and then looking up at the camera of the computer. Because when you look at the camera, the audience think you are looking at them and they probably pay more attention and remember more of the story. Also, you used good pauses. It is possible to use more pauses and longer pauses so we absorb the story that you told us. For example, when you told us that you traveled from Israel to China, you could have paused and we could have imagined and think about it. Oh my God, that's such a long way to travel. It's amazing. And I want to challenge you. You might have had a stronger impact on me if you would have stood back and I could see more of your hand and you could have moved more. It would have made the speech more interesting. Overall, you had an amazing story for us. It was such an interesting story to know about you. We all welcome you to our Toastmaster Club, and I cannot wait to hear your second speech. Thank you, Shelley, Master Toastmaster.
Thank you, Shara. I had to record the time, so I'm doing the proper work. And you know, men are not very good at multitasking, so that's something that we are challenged. Our next evaluator is Marcy, evaluating Stephen. Marcy, please go ahead. You have 2 to 3 minutes to provide your evaluation.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Stephen, you have made such incredible progress. I was delighted to hear your speech today, and you grabbed our attention immediately with talking to us about money. Who wants to give an insurance company more money? And you provided us well-structured tips on how to avoid that as we moved forward. You grabbed our attention with that right away, asking us about the money, asking us how we would be able to save. One of the things I've really noticed is that your comfort level in front of an audience has improved exponentially. It's wonderful to see that growth. Congratulations. Well done. You may want to challenge yourself with the opportunity to look at the camera a bit more. I could tell that you were thinking as you were involved in it, and your eyes were distracted, looking different ways, but engaging with us directly here would make a lot of difference in telling the story. Just that was one of my observations. The other thing that I would say is that you were very well at how you constructed your material. I think there is a teacher resides somewhere inside of you that you want everybody to have all of the information, which perhaps led to us going perhaps over your time limit there, providing us all the information. However, a very common trait that many of us have with regards to our time frame. Overall, a really well done presentation. I look forward to hearing the second one and having the opportunity to evaluate it. And the final thing I just want to say is you ended with a call to action for us, which was another really good point in your speech, providing us all the opportunity to make sure we're looking at the clauses and details. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew.
All right, I'm getting past it. Our next evaluator is Irma, evaluating Alice. Please go ahead, Irma. We are waiting for your words of wisdom.
Alice, you showed clearly from the start that you had great empathy with Monica. I observed your connection for an easier transition of the communication between the two of you. You took us through the time frame since Monica joined, and I appreciated all the steps that you had gone through, all the times when a speech was cancelled. That was really, really helpful to evaluate your speech. I feel it might have been helpful if you could have gone through specific steps with your mentee. Sometimes when they are overwhelmed by what's happening, it would help if they wrote out the speech beforehand. This is a great help, especially if someone struggles with English being their second language. To challenge yourself, I observed today that it is very easy to get sidetracked by technology, or when you are not totally focused on the camera, then, we tend to see everything around us. It's like, oh, there's my dog. Oh, there's someone on the roof, So just be mindful of that while we are speaking, that even though it's difficult to stay engaged, to just try and be a little bit more focused on the camera. You always speak very clearly. It must come from your time as a teacher and having spoken so much all your life, but it's always very easy to understand what you are saying. Your voice as a tool is very important, and I feel you used your tool very, very well. Eye contact, you're always looking at us with a smile, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. I would say, all in all, you are very comfortable with the audience. You were aware that we were here. Thank you very much for that. And I wish you and Monica just the best. And I cannot wait to see how you're going to improve with Alice as your mentor. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Irma. Just record the time. Perfect. And the last evaluator is Marcy again. Marcy, please go ahead and provide us with your words of wisdom again.
Thank you so much, Christina, for providing us with a high-level overview of HPLs. It's an area that continues to challenge me in my role as VP Education and understanding it for myself, how to grow. And I loved the title of your speech, Grow with HPL. You provided great clarity as you brought this forward, and it was well supported in your presentation that you put with us. One of the things that I noticed you did very well, you're familiar and good on the camera now, connecting with your audience and letting us know. Your hand movements were also very well put within the frame that we're working now and getting us from here to here as leaders and showing that documentation, and it resided with me. You provided great eye contact with everyone, as I stated, and you always smile, which makes us at ease and provides the ability to connect with the audience. Work with your presentation and sharing with us from the very beginning that you're learning, that's what we do as Toastmasters. We learn in this safe environment. Thank you very much for that. And the expertise moving forward with that. Okay, I'm looking at all of my documents here. Awareness, gestures. I think it was very interesting. Your vocal variety was very good in what you provided us with the information there, showing the excitement, providing the knowledge back to other HPLs, and giving us a reference point when we may not know it. Being able to anchor ourselves as we can have things to relate to really enhances our learning and our ability to learn within that. Thank you very much for providing this information to us, and I look forward to continuing to learn with you. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Marcy. Always you provide us a very, very valuable evaluation. Well, we are at the point. I'm going to report the time. We have to be mindful of the time. We are 9 minutes over. The shortest evaluation was 2 minutes, 33 seconds. Marcy, first evaluation, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Irma, 2 minutes, 46 seconds. And Marcy's second evaluation, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Now I am going to pass the control to Helen. Go ahead, please, Helen, take over. And you have 2 to 3 minutes to provide your general evaluation.
Okay, greeting, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, and the purpose of the general evaluation is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting. During the meeting, I took the notes for everything that's happened and doesn't happen. We'll evaluate each participant on the meeting program and look for good example of all actions you did for today. So, first of all, we have a very successful meeting today. We start on time, and I would like to especially thank our chairperson, Mashoud. He dedicated a lot prior to the meeting. He sent an email to confirm someone from our team can take place. The speakers, we have 2 speakers just cancel their register right before the meeting. And we have a lot of active members. They are very eager to did everything for the meeting and make the meeting achieve the purpose. So I will invest Mashoud's suggestion in his email. If anyone not sure or they suspect they won't be able to take the role which he or she already registered, please give a much more quite ahead cancellation of the time. I know that this is a special time. Maybe some people are not sure. They may leave Fluor soon, or they are not certain their schedules for their own life. But try your best to give a sign or give us a cancellation as early as you possible, especially for those big roles like a Toastmaster, chairperson, and the speakers. And second thing, I want to check with our chairperson and our Toastmaster is our agenda. So for my understanding, the general evaluator should be start the evaluation section, give the state at the beginning, and invite a timer and preliminary. I know this is an actual meeting. We don't have a primary and our counters, so but we should follow the general or generic guideline with Toastmaster for each of the meeting. I'm a new member. I'm not quite sure this part whether it's correct or not. We may take offline to discuss about this. And the last one I want to, because we don't have the accountant and the grammar, I take the volunteer for today's meeting. I congratulate Benjamin. You have a significant improve on this failure word. You didn't use so many so and you are very improved for this passion. And all other people's way in this meeting, we have a very good control for the failure word. Thank you very much. At the end, I would suggest another thing is because we have this camera or the WebEx meeting, so I would like to suggest the people do the speech, give a very clear sign to the Toastmaster to transfer to the next section. If we do the normal meeting, probably you have a very natural ending. You don't need to give a very clear sign like thank Toastmaster or I'm ending my speech. But because we do this camera, please next time make sure you give the clear sign to Toastmaster and the chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Helen. I love your methodical approach. It's very step by step, and it shows us the clarity of what we need to do. Now we are at 15 minutes over time. If there is any brief announcement, please go ahead. Otherwise, we will be adjourning the meeting.
So I have a question.
Yes.
For the evaluation, so who should introduce evaluator?
Well, generally, Mr. Toastmaster, you will be passing the floor to the general evaluator, and her team would be introducing the evaluator.
Okay.
But,
That's okay.
That's okay. We learn as we go forward. We learn. Marcy.
I just have two quick announcements. We have Division A and Division B contests are on this weekend. So Friday night at 7 o'clock and Saturday morning, I can't remember.
9 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock is C and 1 o'clock is B from Saskatchewan.
So we've got A, B, and C this week.
Correct.
If you have the opportunity, it is a great experience to see how people have progressed, and I encourage you, if you can take some time, it is available, and it will be live streamed to our YouTube account for District 42, and the link will be available online, both on our website and on our social media platforms. So thank you, and have a great week, everybody.
One question, Marcy, where it's been the calendar, is it on District 42? I didn't see this May 16th event. That's why I'm asking.
I believe it is on the calendar. They've been added, and if we've missed something, I'm busy populating it and updating things right now, Ms.
Okay.
It's definite go for May 16th, 1 p.m.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. It was a great meeting, and with that, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Have a great day, and enjoy your days, sunny days, and stay safe and healthy.
Thank you, everyone.